The whole iPhone 13 series are going to be better than we expected, and I'll be sharing the details right after this. Today we've got news of upgrades to all models of the iPhone 13 as well as even more on the Pro models. Before we get started though, make sure you like the video if you're an Apple fan and let me know in the comments what country you're watching today's video from, and if you haven't already then hit subscribe now so you don't miss a thing in the future. So the first story of the day is a quick one about the new Apple AirPods 3. A new DigiTimes report states that the flexible circuit board shipments have begun for the next generation AirPods, and they're going to feature shorter stems than the predecessor with other minor improvements, and they'll be launching alongside the iPhone 13. Now this could well be true, but it is the first we're hearing, and DigiTimes give a lot of information these days, much of which turns out to be false. We also have news of a new titanium alloy chassis for the iPhone, and this comes from a JP Morgan Chase's investment note. The report suggests that Foxconn are going to be manufacturing the titanium for the higher end iPhone models, and it's going to be the same material as on the Apple Watch 6, but unfortunately it is going to be for next year's iPhone and not the iPhone 13. When it comes to the iPhone 13, however, we do have some great news. First of all, we've got news of 25-watt fast charging for all iPhone 13 models. The previous models had a max charge speed of 20 watt, but according to my drivers, the iPhone 13 is going to be capable of 25-watt fast charging, and Apple are going to be making a new 25-watt charger that you can purchase, as of course it won't be coming in the box. The good news is that as always this should be for the whole lineup of phones and not just on the Pro models, but to be clear, this has come from my drivers with no evidence, so as always take with a grain of salt for now. Next up, we've got news that all iPhone 13 models are going to have LiDAR scanners, which would be great news for consumers. We had rumours of this very early on, and then pretty much every source has agreed that only the iPhone 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max will have LiDAR. Wedbush issued a new report after analysing the supply chain, and they've advised that all of the phones are going to have LiDAR scanners, and they state that Apple have also increased the supply to 90 to 100 million units, which is a big jump over last year's 80 million. Now according to the report, we're also going to be seeing 1TB iPhone models instead of the usual 512 Max, although this will only be for the 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max. With Pro RAW photography, higher storage capacity does make sense, but of course Apple still encourages the use of its iCloud. It also states that there's going to be no option for a 64GB model, and 128 is going to be the base option. Again, this could well happen as times are changing and people are using a lot more storage, especially when it comes to media. But at the same time, iCloud is profitable for Apple, so smaller storage options can help with iCloud sales. We're very close to launch now, so information does tend to be correct, although Apple showed us last year that they can quickly change last minute. I am however being told that the design has been finalized, so it's not something that we should really be seeing. Today's news doesn't come from the most reliable of sources, so while I would like some of it to be true, it's important to note that it may not be, especially considering the fact that it would prove so many other sources incorrect. I'm a lot more excited about the iPhone 13 than I was for any of the previous releases, given some of the incredible upgrades like 120Hz LTPO displays, but I'm going to continue to monitor this new information and provide you with an update as soon as we've got confirmation. I would take a lot of it with a grain of salt for now, but for those of you that do want information on the iPhone 13, we're now going to run through the specs, design and the expected pricing with a more realistic approach of what we believe they're going to launch. For my regular viewers, you guys have seen this, so just skip to the next video, but if you are new here then hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we've got the iPhone 13 mini. With the iPhone 13 mini, we get a 5.4-inch OLED display. It's expected to have a 2340 by 1080 resolution, and this gives us 465 pixels per inch, but it's only going to be a 60Hz display. On the front, we get a notch that's going to house the selfie camera and Face ID, and on the back, we get a dual camera setup with a wide and an ultra-wide camera. It will of course be powered up by the new A15 Bionic, and it's expected to come with 4GB of RAM and a choice of 64, 128 or 256 storage. It's coming with a 2406 mAh battery with at least 20-watt fast charge, and it will support wireless charging. We get Bluetooth, 5G and Wi-Fi 6, and the phone is of course going to ship with iOS 15. I'm expecting the iPhone 13 mini to start from around $700, but I'll update the price as soon as we get an accurate leak. Next up, we get the standard iPhone 13. With the iPhone 13, we get a 6.1-inch OLED display. It's expected to have a 2532 by 1170 resolution, and this gives us 460 pixels per inch, but again, it's only a 60Hz display. On the front, we get a notch to house the selfie camera and the Face ID, and on the back, we've got a dual camera setup with a wide and an ultra-wide camera. It will of course be powered by the new A15 Bionic, and we get 4GB of RAM and a choice of 64, 128 or 256 storage. It's coming with a 3095 mAh battery with at least 20W fast charging, and again it does support wireless charging. We get Bluetooth, 5G and Wi-Fi 6, and the phone is going to ship with iOS 15. I'm expecting the iPhone 13 to start from $800, but again I'll update the prices as soon as we get an accurate leak. Next up, we've got the iPhone 13 Pro. With the iPhone 13 Pro, we get a 6.1-inch OLED display, but this time it's got a 2532 by 1170 resolution, which gives us 460 pixels per inch, but on the iPhone 13 Pro, it's going to be a 120Hz LTPO display. On the front, we get a notch to house the selfie camera and the Face ID, and on the back, we get a triple camera setup as well as a LiDAR scanner. The configuration is going to be made up of a wide angle, an ultra wide and a telephoto camera. It will of course be powered by the A15 Bionic, and it's expected to come with 6GB of RAM and a choice of 128, 256, 512 and even 1TB storage. It's coming with a 3095 mAh battery with at least 20W fast charge, and wireless charging is supported. We get Bluetooth, 5G, Wi-Fi 6, and it's of course going to ship with iOS 15. I'm expecting the iPhone 13 Pro to start from around $1,050, but again this is just an estimate. Finally, we have the iPhone 13 Pro Max. With the iPhone 13 Pro Max, we get a 6.7-inch OLED display. It's expected to have 2778 by 1128 resolution, and this gives us 458 pixels per inch. Now again, this is going to be a 120Hz LTPO display. On the front, we get the notch with selfie camera and Face ID, and on the back, we get a triple camera setup plus the LiDAR scanner. The configuration is going to be made up of a wide, an ultra wide and a telephoto camera. Like the Pro, it's coming with the A15 Bionic. It's expected to come with 6GB of RAM and a choice of 128, 256, 512 or 1TB storage. It's coming with a 4352 mAh battery, and again we expect at least 20W fast charge as well as wireless charging. We get Bluetooth, 5G, Wi-Fi 6 and the phone ships with iOS 15. Now this is the most premium, and we're expecting the iPhone 13 Pro Max to start from around $1,150, but again I'll confirm this as soon as we get a leak. So it's great that we've got so much information on the iPhone 13 series, and with launch in September it's not too long until the official reveal from Apple. Thankfully there is expected to be plenty of stock for the iPhones, and Apple are reportedly not going to be affected by the chip shortage that is causing so many other companies problems. Now of course, as always, I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments. Who out there is excited for the Apple iPhone 13, and what do you think of these new leaks? But thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, smash a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down twice, and I'll see you guys in the next one.